Hi, I'm Rachel Alexander, Senior Editor with The Stream, here to talk about this new report that's come out by the Profiling Project. Profiling Project is this independent group of George Washington University grad students and forensic experts that are looking into the mysterious death of former Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich. They are trying to determine, using the training methods from the New York Police Department's homicide training, whether Seth Rich really was the victim of a robbery gone bad, as the DC police have claimed over the last year, or whether there was maybe something more sinister going on. They looked into it for about the last 3 months, and they released their first report today, or the last couple days, and they said that they really doubt it was a botched robbery. The evidence looks like the murder was done by a professional, somebody who had experienced murdering people before, because the murderer left the crime scene quite sanitized, unable for people to trace it back to the murderer. And, we all know the murderer didn't take any of Seth's valuables, so if he didn't take any valuables, then where's the robbery? So they also discovered that there was another video camera that the DC police may not know about that may have some surveillance of the crime scene, and maybe. And rather alarmingly, the report says that the resolution of prosecuting the individual responsible, both actively and passively. This seems to be a reference to the DC police not turning over materials that the team has requested from them in public records requests. Now, I will say, in the DC police's defense, it's not their policy to turn over this type of information during an investigation. However, this murder has gone unsolved for almost a year with no suspects. So you would think that they might appreciate some help from an outside team, especially an outside team that appears to be pretty objective. They are funded by a wealthy Republican attorney, Jack Berkman. But I wouldn't really write off George Washington University students as, some right-wing, partisan group, as people are trying to do. And I'll note later, too, but it's not just people on the right who are looking into this murder. It's also people on the left. Now, another interesting thing they noted about the murder was it was statistically unusual since Rich was white. There were 66 unsolved homicides in DC last year. Of those 66, 62 were black victims. Additionally, most of those homicides had to do with crime, like a drug deal gone bad or something like that. This had nothing to do with Rich being involved in a crime. Now, oddly enough, the report does dismiss a link between Rich being the one to have leaked the WikiLeaks emails, the DNC emails to WikiLeaks, and this murder happening in retaliation. There's just like one or two lines where they say, since the murder wasn't successful, then there must have been, poisoning if this really was retaliation. I didn't really understand that. It was only a couple lines, so I don't really know what to make of that. In response to this bombshell report, DC police issued a response saying, "We stand by our original opinion that this was a botched robbery." And the family spokesman, Brad Bauman, who the Democrats apparently put in place as the family spokesman, which seems to be a conflict of interest considering the DNC is the one being, accused of, having ties to something fishy here. He responded and said, "There's nothing new in these findings." Well, that's not true. It looks like they found a new video camera, and also these findings are saying they disagree with the DC police, that this was a botched robbery. Anyways, there looks like there's going to be more reports to come. This is just the beginning. However, they are reporting a lot of stonewalling and getting at some of the evidence. One new update just this morning is the team has filed a lawsuit, or a request for an injunction that would require the DC Police Department to stop destroying information of Seth Rich. They are saying that the DC police might really be deleting or altering some of his social media accounts, which appear to be disappearing online. And I'll probably have an update for you maybe tomorrow on something related. As I said earlier, it's not just people on the right who are looking into the murder of Seth Rich. You've got Scott Taylor, who's an investigative news reporter for ABC in Washington, D.C. He's looking into it, and he live periscoped the press conference about this report. You've got lots of internet sleuths looking into it. Websites like WND are doing their own independent investigation. And you've got, oh, there goes my phone. Just make sure I turn that off. And so you've also got Bernie Sanders supporters who have sued the Democratic National Committee, saying that they rigged the election in favor of Hillary Clinton. And some of these people are afraid for their lives. So I will have more on that most likely tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and God bless from the stream.